Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School, and I want to say hi to everybody that's here. And I also want to give a special shout out to Black London. We had an event in London, and you guys may know this, but I'm gonna tell you, Black London is a very special place. It's probably my favorite place on earth. No disrespect to my people back home in America, but I think the people in Black London just really have something really unique going on in terms of the fact that it turns out sometimes they're just kind of ready for certain things that African Americans, where we still have to work through these things. When I go to London, I see a lot more people that are just really well put together, super sharp, strong families, etc. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they're not as stifled by the slave culture as we are as African Americans. A lot of people. I spoke to a guy in London last night, and he actually gave me an insight on this that I thought about. And he said, in London, a lot of us have only been, our families have been here for 50 years, so we don't have a long 400-year relationship with London the way black people do. Now, that's not true for everybody, of course, but his family and a lot of other families. And I thought about that, and I think that's a good point. But what's interesting is that I think that we as African Americans should pay attention to what's happening in places like London, because there's a lot of interesting racism that happens there. In some ways it's a little more stifling. I would say that, for example, I don't see as much of an entrepreneurial spirit within the Black London community, because I think that there are, all these rules, regulations, and very subtle racism, systematic racism that really kind of slows down their progress. And I think that we're all in the same struggle. And I encourage those who are open-minded to really understand that, right? So that's just my quick thought there. But I love it here. I mean, when I come here, it feels like a second home, and I just love it when I get to see you guys in person. And the next city I'll be in is Chicago, by the way. Which, I mean, come on, Chicago. That's my city. So you can go to drboychicago.com if you'd like to join our investing seminar. We're going to be in there for the entire day. It's going to be 7 hours long, and we're going to cover all aspects of investing. When you walk out of there, you'll be very comfortable with investing and what that entails. Now, with that said, let's jump into the conversation real quick. I was asked about this, so I thought I would address it. There was a video that popped up with a black family that just got into some real, just, like plantation shit, at Disney. I saw this video, and I don't know what the background is in terms of why things popped off like this, but I saw a man punching out his own sister and then knocking his mother to the ground. His mother was on a roller scooter, and the sister, was kind of a big woman, and apparently she spit in his face, which we know that's not cool. You don't spit in people's faces, but at the same time, this man at Disney World, of all places, it was in Toontown or something where the little children are, and this dude is just wailing on these Disney, or excuse me, wailing on his sister and his mother, and then there was another lady there, and I don't know if she was related or not. I know they all came together, so there's a lot to unpack with that, and I'm not gonna sit here and try to psychoanalyze every detail because I don't know these people. I don't know, why they were fighting or anything like that. But a few thoughts that come to mind. Number one, um, the fact that they all came there together and they were all friends, or and family members before they arrived, really almost makes that situation a microcosm of that slave mentality that we have as black people. Sometimes the people we want to fuck up the most, whose asses we want to kick the most, are the people that we proclaim to love 24 hours early. And you guys have seen it. You guys have seen it play out in public. You've seen it play out in my space, in terms of what I do. I've had, situations where I've been like, wait a minute, I thought we were cool, and now you want to kill me. Like, I don't understand that. How does that happen? And it makes me think about the fact that they say, you remember that Martin Lawrence movie, there's a thin line between love and hate. So a lot of times the people that we hate the most and want to hurt the most are the people that we love the most, because maybe we're re-traumatized and don't know how to handle the trauma, or whatever the case may be. So that's one thing that I saw. Second thing is, I think this relates to the first, actually. In our families in general, not that most families would do this. I mean, this was just some trifling shit. Like, let's just be clear. This was extraordinarily trifling, right? This was not even, this wasn't black culture. This was something else, right? But we've all seen it though. We've all seen, black people killing other black people. We've all seen, uh, you know, a husband and wife, like, or baby mama, baby daddy drama, where two people claim to love each other to death. 3 months ago, got each other pregnant, and then 3 months later, they're like, "Oh, fuck that motherfucker! I can't stand that nigga. He ain't shit." And she, "Fuck that bitch, man. She do." But seriously, it makes us look stupid. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Just honestly, I'm taking OG status here. It makes you look silly when the person that you were ready to fight for, you ready to fight me over that person. 3 months earlier, you ready to fight the world for that person. 3 months earlier, you told the whole world you loved that person 3 months earlier. Now you're trying to reconvince me that this person is a terrible person, that they're a mortal enemy. Well, just be clear. How you address, how you talk about people that you used to be close to is a reflection on you. It makes you look flaky. Because my opinion, if you're really staying on code and understand consistency and loyalty and stability, then you're gonna be pretty consistent across the board in terms of, if I loved you in 2017, I'm gonna love you in 2019. Doesn't mean things can't change. Doesn't mean I can't have some hard feelings about certain things that might have happened. Doesn't mean things could not have evolved. But I should be able to explain that evolution to you. I should say, I love that brother. He's really cool. But yeah, sometimes things don't work out, and we did business and it just didn't go so well. But I wish him the best, right? That's kind of a mature response. The ridiculous response is, I want to punch out my own best friend, relative, whatever it was, baby mama, whatever, because that person upset me, right? So I think that the ability to resolve disputes is something that we as a community collectively we need to become masters in that shit. Why? Well, because our original masters, our slave masters, spent 400 years teaching us how to want to kill each other, right? They spent hundreds of years teaching us how to want to promote our own genocide. They spent hundreds of years teaching us how to do greater harm to ourselves and to each other and to our own flesh and blood than we would do to the people who actually are harming our community. And so I think the ability to resolve conflicts is really important. If anybody wants to learn something from crazy situations like that, one thing you should learn is that a house divided will always fall. And if you want to know why black folks have trouble establishing and maintaining our institutions, whether it's our families, our businesses, or whatever, it's because a lot of us can't get along. We get mad, we get triggered. Next thing you know, we cussing each other out, punching each other out, taking each other out, whatever, because you're taking that pain that you have and you're throwing, you're puking you're puking your pain onto your brother, onto your sister. And I just think we got to kind of address that. We got to deal with that. I talked to a therapist or two about it. And one of the things that one of my therapist friends said that I thought was really interesting, she said there's a lot of pain in their family, and I agreed with that. Obviously, usually when somebody acts out like that, it's due to some sort of pain, some sort of trauma. Now, where my position was, and this is the next issue I think we can unpack on this. My issue is that a lot of us feel pain. A lot of us feel hurt, feel mad. A lot of us go through some shit. A lot of it, we all do. But you do have a choice in how you respond to that pain. And I've heard this. I've seen people say, well, the only reason I punched her out, man, was because she did this and this. Yeah, but you still chose to punch her out. You didn't choose to be traumatized, but you do get to choose how you respond to that. Right? Because I'll tell you, this punk ass dude punching out his sister and his mama, my God, what is wrong with you? When I see that, a couple things I know for sure. Number one, he ain't got no strong father in the house. I bet every penny on earth that black man, big ass dude, look like he's in his 20s, maybe 30s. This big ass dude, I bet you anything, he does not have a strong father in the house, because there's no man I know who would go punching out his mother and his sister with his daddy around. Like, I just don't see that. So I think this idea that somehow whatever trauma he's gone through would justify that kind of behavior, I contradict that by saying, look, I bet you if a prison guard put a billy club upside his head, he ain't gonna be punching the prison guard back. If he punches one more time, they'll knock his ass out. You know, and so to me, a lot of times when you get those punk ass men that want to go beating up on women, when they confront a real man, they get took down quick. You know, and so when those men finally jumped in and got on his ass, he wasn't doing all that shit. And that leads to the next point. I was watching this thinking, why were the Disney security guards not on that shit? I mean, you got little children watching these grown-ups act like children, act like violent children, you know? Because I mean, it wasn't just the man that was acting a damn fool; it was the women and everything. I mean, one lady said, "Hold my baby," and pushes the baby stroller to the side, and the baby stroller is just rolling, and the baby's sitting there like, "What the fuck's going on?" Like the baby don't know where the baby's literally rolling into oblivion while the baby's mama is trying to have a fight. That makes me think about another video I saw where a girl was on a bus and she saw another girl she wanted to fight, and she said, "Hold my baby," and she throws her baby into the hands of somebody she don't even know. She literally threw her baby into the hands of some lady who's like, "Whoa," and then she goes and starts wailing on this other girl, and it's just it's crazy. I mean, some of us out here acting butt naked crazy, seriously. You know, and I was watching. I said, "Wow, this is a Boondocks episode waiting to happen." You know, when I saw that, I said, "Ooh," you know. And I will say that, you know, overall, you know, even though most of us would not have done what that family did, a lot of us as black people, I think we can relate to that a little bit because maybe we know somebody who would act out like that, or we've been in ghetto ass situations like that and tried to rise above it, but maybe sometimes you did, sometimes you didn't. I know sometimes when I'm in ghetto ass situations, I can rise above it. Sometimes I get ghetto too. Sometimes being around base behavior brings the worst out of me. It makes me into a man that is different from the man that I'm supposed to be, right? So ultimately, that whole fight at Disney World, I think, was sad for a lot of different reasons. I think Disney needs to apologize to the people that were there. They need to, talk about their security. Somebody could have got hurt. Somebody could have got killed. You don't know if that man got a gun. If he crazy enough to punch out his mama and his sister, you can't. It's not too much of a stretch to think he might have a weapon, right? And the fact that it took them that long to get back to the situation, it is downright shameful. So those are my thoughts on the situation. I love to hear your comments on it. There's not much else to say. I just kind of watched it and I just got very, very sad, just kind of seeing that. I don't like to see black men behaving like little bitches. It does not appeal to me. And he was a bitch, I don't care. I just, I mean, even if a woman hits you, I just don't think you have to hit a woman. I just don't believe that. I think there's ways to handle it without getting violent. But if she didn't hit him, if she just spit on him or whatever, no, you can't just go cracking people in the face and all that stuff. And I'll tell you, a lot of what you see sometimes from the bitch ass men is the result of a fatherless community. And also ultimately a lot of this stuff goes back to white supremacy. That the cage that the white man keeps you in causes you to act like an animal sometimes. We act like animals toward each other. Not all of us. Again, not most of us wouldn't do what this guy did or what this family did, but a lot of us have been in situations where we have done harm to each other, because of the trauma. And what mass incarceration did was it took the fathers and the mentors out of the community. So when you see a man beating up on a woman in public and then some other bitch ass man holding the camera and filming it as it's happening, just know that's the result of a fatherless community, which happened primarily due to the Bill Clinton crime bill and mass incarceration epidemic. A lot of your strongest black men are in prison. And in fact, when I go to London, one of the things I notice and observe is that I'll be down in, I'm literally gonna be done in less than 5 minutes. So one of the things I observe when I'm in London is I see a lot of strong, intelligent black men, well-dressed black men, sharp, good jobs, making good money, doing well. And I don't see that as much when I'm in the States. I see solid brothers in the States, a lot of solid brothers in the States. But when I come here, where the mass incarceration epidemic didn't quite happen, but I think it could happen somewhere because the crime rate is going up, the murder rate in London is going up. But I see it. I just see a different kind of black man. I see a different kind of black family. So these things that you've been put through have affected the structure of your families at a molecular level, and it's gonna impact us for several generations. So those are my thoughts on it. I think it's shameful, dastardly, embarrassing, ridiculous, and just really sick to observe that. And I was very, very, very sad about it. But anyway, if you want to see the video, it's out there on YouTube. I'm not going to show any clips because I ain't trying to glorify it. I think it's interesting to kind of talk about it and analyze it, and we can benefit from it. But yeah. So anyway, all right. So sorry, didn't mean to. Hope I didn't depress anybody with this conversation. But as you guys know, this is the home for intelligent black people, and the world is your university. That is the place where you can do most of your learning, and that's why I do a lot of my learning. Is I watch what happens in the world and try to understand the dynamics behind it, and so that's what you get from this channel. So please hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Also, don't forget, if you want to learn how to buy your first share of stock, I encourage you to go to blackmoney100.com. That's blackmoney100.com. I have a free training on how to buy your first share of stock. Also, my next city is Chicago, so if you want to learn more, go to drboychicago.com. And of course, we got the All Black National Convention in Houston in September, the weekend of September 27th. It's going to be awesome. It's going to have a lot of great people: Vicky Dillard, Dr. George Frazier. I'm trying to get Sharif Abdul Malik out there. I'm going to ask him to come back out or come out. That's my brother. I love that guy. And there's a lot of great people coming. We have a really great time. So go to allblacknationalconvention.com if you'd like to learn more. It's worth a family trip. I think you'll enjoy it. You'll love Houston, and also you'll love the event. Oh, Willie D from the Ghetto Boys, my homeboy. He'll be there also. He's about to run for city council also, which I think is great. I think the community will benefit from that as well. He has my endorsement, Willie. I don't endorse politicians because I don't like them, but I'll endorse you, brother. So there you go. There's my endorsement for Willie D. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Take care. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Peace.